Hello and welcome to what promises to be a pretty epic video. I got a request a while back from a viewer who basically said, could you do a video where you say your top product in every single category that you compare new things to? We're like, it's good, but how does it compare to the best version of this? And basically laying out a list of what those best versions are to me. So I did it. I made a big old list and I'm gonna share it with y'all today. I should really say though, there is no such thing as a product that's for everyone. I mean, even if we're talking about a clear lip gloss, there are going to be people who disagree about what they prefer in a formula. So understand that these are the things I compare new things to. They are the most useful, perfect, whatever. I'm gonna tell you why each product is what it is in that category for me, but that doesn't mean that you need to like go down this list and go and add every single one of these to your makeup routine. This is more for y'all to see my point of view. It's like, if those things that I'm comparing it to are something that's entirely unrelatable to you, like you're like, I would never like that product, keep that in mind. Be like, oh, Kaki and I have different opinions on things, you know? And maybe use that to weigh my recommendations for what you need in the future. I did go ahead and record this makeup look coming together, and I tried to use as many of the products on the list as possible, but like, there are so many. It is literally impossible. I probably used 10% of the things that we talked about. This is gonna be a long video, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let's talk about complexion. I have a lot of different like subcategories within the categories because I think that that's important. So let's start with, in no particular order, SPF skin tint. Okay, there are a lot of these out there. Basically anything that has a consequential amount of SPF in it, and I've tried a lot of really great ones, hybrid ones, what have you. My favorite one is from CL. This is the CL Tint and Protect SPF 50 Tinted Serum. It has 12% zinc oxide, and what I love about this formula is it is both lightweight, has a pretty great shade range, and it is luminous, like in a beautiful, wearable, not Tin Man kind of way. It does have a really nice reflective quality to it, but mainly what I'm judging any complexion product on is the way that it stays balanced against my very dry skin over the course of the day and how long it wears. This has beautiful wear. There is no sacrifice, I feel like, to most of the CL products in terms of the amount of SPF they have in them, and that definitely goes for this. Skin tint, just basic skin tint. I mean, it goes without saying almost, but if you've been on my channel for any amount of time since this has come out, this is the only skin tint that I have wanted to talk about. It is truly my benchmark. Honestly, it's one of those products that like inspires the entire concept for a video like this, because everything that I use that calls itself a skin tint now has to stack up against this, and nothing has beat it in like multiple releases since. So the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. This is an ultra thin, lightweight, but like more coverage than you would think type of skin tint. It's like really watery and beautiful, and it wears for like 10 plus hours on me. It looks incredible. My mother, who is 30 years older than me, can also wear this formula. My friend Lindsay, who is 10 years younger than me, can also wear this formula. So again, I have really dry skin. I have really like specific wants and needs. I want a nice natural finish out of something like this. In the case of something like this that I want it to wear all day, I want it to look like skin, and this just looks like skin. It's flawless. It is just a perfect product in my opinion. A recent addition, but I don't think that anyone is going to be surprised about this because I've made such a big deal about it since the moment that I tried it. So I'm putting this in the category of best light coverage foundation. This is the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. It is a kind of silicone-y finish, so it does have that natural finish to it where it's not too satin, it's not too dewy, it's very flexible. It has like a solidly medium coverage. It does not really build. I kind of love that about it. There's just something about it that it's like, it's gonna look effortless no matter what. I love how it wears. It never creases. It's featherweight gorgeous. I just think that this is such a win overall for his brand, but it has stolen the show in terms of things that live in my flash drive memory for this kind of finish, this kind of coverage, everything about it, the way that it performs. It's very, very unique for its category, and other things need to stack up to this. Medium coverage foundation products, what I'm wearing today. I will stick some footage in of me applying this because I applied it to one half of my face first so that you can see the coverage. This is about this in like a a Chanel foundation are about the most coverage that I wear. So it's like, even though this is definitely categorically a medium coverage foundation, I would call it full coverage for me, you know, in terms of the scale of what I wear. And this is also the foundation that recently a friend of mine at yoga asked me. She pulled me aside after class and she was like, hey, I have a makeup question for you. People always think they're inconveniencing me by asking me these things, and I'm like, please, like, my brain is full of answers. Ask me the questions. I would absolutely love to help you. So she said, you know, I have an event coming up. She had a bat mitzvah to go to, and she's like, I know I'm going to be photographed, and I just want, so she was only wearing like the What the Foundation from Jones Road. And she was like, I need something that's like got more wear time to it and things like that. And that she also wanted something that was going to be useful for more than just that occasion. She didn't want something that was such a shellacking of makeup that it's like, okay, I'm going to use it one time. Like, what's the point? And I mean, first thing out of my mouth, I was like, Prada. Like, the Prada foundation, absolutely. And then I went to yoga yesterday and like, we're like rolling our mouths out. She's like, khaki, the Prada. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh my God. Like, see? It's like, I not only turned her into a believer on the Prada, but I like turned her into a believer on like making the case for something this expensive. Cause she like then turns around to another girl in the class and she's like, well, the refill tube is only like $55 or something. And I was like, oh my God, you're taking my job. It was awesome. So anyway, this is a lot like the Lisa Eldridge in the sense that it gives that really perfected finish and an extremely long wear time for as natural of a finish as it is, because again, dry skin, I do not want something oil controlling. This stays so stable in most seasons, all occasions, especially when I need to feel confident, like I need some coverage. Like I am all, I just shook it, so it's hard to tell, but I think it's like down to here. It sputters when I pump it. So I always say, I'm like, I'm so excited to finish it. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna buy another one. You know what I mean? Like, why am I so excited? But regardless, I just think it's an accomplishment and it speaks highly of a foundation when I finish one. And ever since this came out, since the moment I tried it, I was just like, everyone needs to try this at least once. It's so amazing. Like I said, I don't have a full coverage foundation favorite because that is about the most coverage that I'll wear, but on the same par, like on the same level of coverage, but I would say is more buildable, I'm calling this the best buildable foundation, is the Chanel Red Camellia Revitalizing Foundation. This is only at Chanel and Ulta. It's so lovely because it's like a really great, like truly, again, natural finish. That's what I'm looking for right now in terms of the stuff that I wear, is a natural finish, because dewy things tend to start to like gather in lines and they don't really tolerate powder as well. In terms of wear time, I do want something that has a natural finish but doesn't have a lot of oil control, because I don't have any real oil to control. I'd like to retain as much of my natural oil as I possibly can. The thing about this is, like, I've heard from so many people in my comments of different age groups that like they love this foundation. I can wear it and Ingrid can wear it. Like Ingrid Nilsson, who has more oily skin, like this is one of her favorite foundations. She like loves the Danessa Myricks, her like funny powder balm foundation, you know, like I can't wear that stuff. My skin is too dry for that, but she and I kind of converge here, you know? And so this is just one of those like crowd pleasing, really deftly executed formulas. And I haven't talked about it in a long time because it came out such a long time ago, but I need to buy another one so that I can kind of keep it on hand because it's just so lovely. I really think that it is probably the most like the Prada in my collection, except I would say that it has more buildability. You can get more coverage out of it. And it might be slightly more satin. And my SPF foundation of choice is actually in the city right now. So I do not have it on hand. I take it with me because it's like I'm outside so much more when I'm in the city. I want that protection. But it is the RMS Sun Cover Up. Again, it is the most elegant formula that I have found in a foundation that has such significant SPF in it. So it's like the CL in terms of the fact that I feel like I do actually get real extra protection from it on top of the other SPF that I'm already wearing, but it's so perfecting, it's so beautiful. It might actually be like the highest coverage out of everything in this video just because of how much SPF it has in it, but it doesn't look like chalky or cakey or heavy or anything like that. It is really gorgeous. RMS 2.0 has just blown me away in a lot of ways. I think all of the complexion products that they've come out with have been really, really beautiful, but that one really takes the cake because they did put so much SPF in it. Okay, my Glossier Stretch Concealer is downstairs in a drawer because I use it when I am like quote unquote on the go trying to get out the door, but that is the light coverage concealer that I compare all things to. That is a product that I first tried in 2017 and it has existed longer than that. It was one of the first things that Glossier ever came out with. It is this beautiful gel formula that if you want dewy skin, you can wear it like with the rest of your makeup or whatever, but I find that it's something that just blends so beautifully into the skin that I wear it most of the time on its own. It's just one of those things that like behaves much like skincare. And for me, calling it like a low coverage concealer, it's still a concealer, you know, like I don't want a concealer that doesn't do anything. It's just something that really blends in and it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. And it's super hydrating and I love that. My favorite medium coverage concealer is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is a classic for a reason. It's got the caffeine in it. It's got the right amount of coverage. It has a more kind of satin mattified finish to it, but again, isn't super oil controlling. They have a ton of shades and it just is like that perfect sort of spread forever creaminess. I have this in the shade, this is 2.6C. They send them to me a lot of times. They have so many shades in this that like I can probably wear like 4 shades in the range at least. So I haven't talked about this in a while because again, it's been kind of eclipsed by other things that have been coming out, but this is still the thing that I compare something of this coverage against in terms of being the best. My favorite hydrating concealer that I would consider to be like more of a performance concealer is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Concealer. It has been called the Over 30 Shape Tape. It's just a product that was a sensation right when it came out and for good reason. It's very, very flattering. It's very hydrating. It's very long wearing. And for it being a luxury product, I think it's like $37, $38, $30. They might have taken it up to like $39 at this point. You get a lot of product in the tube. It's less expensive pound for pound than a lot of like regular prestige makeup. I was like, I don't have one right now. I have a brand new one. Oh my God. That's why it hasn't been in rotation, is because all of mine expired, but this one's like never been opened. I love this stuff. Oh, that makes me so happy. I wear the shade N95. You can see we're not talking about epic coverage here. It's very natural looking. Yep, it's great for my under eyes because my under eyes tend to be kind of dry and crepey, and I'm so excited. I'm just like so happy that I found that. Okay, cool. And the best full coverage concealer, y'all. You convinced me, but also using it over time has convinced me. This is the Sarah Creel Face Flex. I have this in 0.5, 1, and 2. Today I am wearing 0.5. It's, you know, more towards a winter shade for me, but I also find that that little bit of contrast of it being lighter than my normal shade of 1 also gives me a little bit more coverage because it's like a little more brightening. It's like the illusion of more coverage. So anyway, yes, this is a product that is designed to be a concealer and complexion enhancer, and you can use it alone. You can use it as, I mean, honestly, you can use most of them that way. The Givenchy works beautifully as a foundation also, but this has such a high concentration of pigment to it while staying elegant that as you spread it on the skin, you can like maintain coverage and the makeup never looks cakey. It's just beautiful stuff. And it's really hydrating. Obviously, like I said, not for everyone, but I've heard really, really amazing things from people who have signs of aging under their eyes and things like that. And they say this is the only thing that works for them. And I have found that to be true even in my like very beginning stages of those signs of aging. I'm only 38, okay? Now this isn't a category all its own, but it's just something that nothing has come up to meet yet. And I guess there are pencil concealers out there, but nothing is like this, okay? I'm never gonna shut up about it. I use this so much. This is the Lisa Eldridge Pinpoint Concealer Pencil. And I know that like, you know, from like a cost-effective pound for pound comparison against other concealers, this is wild price-wise, but like that's not what it was meant to do. It's not meant to like draw triangles underneath your eyes like Shape Tape. This is meant to go in and cover what cannot be covered by anything else. So like these kinds of blemishes that are just peeking through all my other coverage because I picked at them, or if I don't have anything else on, they will cover it. And it's like I hardly even have to blend that. I keep these in every drawer. I have so many of them and I love them. Some of these are in the city. My Givenchy powder, my pressed powder is in the city, but I'll pull out the loose one. Now this is the new one, and that is why I want to talk about the pressed one specifically. The Givenchy Prisme Libre powder, they reformulated it, and the pressed one is more of like the original formula. The new loose one is really like white and reflective and shimmery. And so I, you know, don't recommend this, but this is just what I have on hand as a, you know, a visual aid. The thing that I would note about it is it's not entirely translucent. and it does have an effect on the skin, but it is more of a color correction, you know, combination of colors that are in this than it is like a skin colored powder that's giving you like complexion colored coverage. So I think that this really has a specific place in my routine for when I want something, like I said, perfected, but I don't want to like continue adding coverage. And it's just beautiful for what it is. It really is. And it, for all of its lightweightness, it actually helps my makeup really last. Like I wore it to the US Open and stuff like that. So especially like walking around out in New York City and stuff, like your skin just starts to get balmy in all kinds of new ways. And this has a lot of preservation power for my makeup, more than you would think. Coverage setting powder. It's what you would think. Based on how loved and used this is. This is absolutely bananas. So this is the Cloud Set from Kosas. I wear the shade Airy, and something I do want to note, and it's like my own little axe to grind, my own little hill I die on all the time, is just that when they put out like a pink powder and a yellow powder and things like that, there is no transformation of those on the skin the way that there is with something like this that mixes all these colors together. I can't explain why that is, but like the way that the market has been flooded with like pink color correcting powders lately, they're really useful for people who have very pink skin, okay? Same thing goes for the yellow one. If the color you're trying to achieve under your eyes is yellow, I just want to caution anyone against actually buying them if you think that they're going to do something magical and transformational and color correcting on your skin. They're probably not going to. They're going to show up as the color that they are in the pan, which is fine. Just don't buy those ones, you know? I think that this serves exactly its purpose because it has so many skin tone shades as well. So like, why did those even come out? I adore this. This is what I use on photo shoots. It's what I use today. It's what I use all the time. I mean, clearly. I call it like a trick deck of cards, the way that it doesn't matter what you're asking of it. It just kind of always knows what you want it to do and then it does it. Like, I don't ask questions past that, but it does add coverage in a beautiful way. So it'll like blur pores right there where I have my concealer and stuff. Like I'm not self-conscious about it, but I definitely notice a difference when I use this. And again, that's why it's so great for like an event where you would need to be photographed or something, is because it just perfects everything and you can reapply it without it getting cakey. I love this stuff. It is not for people who need a ton of oil control, okay? If I haven't made that clear, I don't need oil control. This is for someone who wants a little bit of mattification of their makeup without oil control. I need water! All I do is pee. Okay, translucent setting powder of choice. And when I say translucent, I mean translucent, invisible on the skin, okay? Because they're rare. I've tried a lot of things that the color is claimed to be translucent, but that doesn't mean that the formula is necessarily translucent. This is translucent, okay? This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Pressed Setting Powder Ultra Blur. You're gonna need to get some Scotch tape, okay? Because it's so finely milled and it is so translucent, barely anything really picks up on the brush, and so you will end up kind of laying the moisture from your skin back down into the pan, but you just use a little bit of Scotch tape, it pulls right back out. So no big deal, but do not confuse this with the square container. The square container is reflective. They have a bunch of powders they've been coming out with. It's because Laura Mercier's powder is a very successful best-selling product, and so they're like, how many ways can we iterate on this? Let me tell you, they've iterated a lot of different ways. They have the under eye one, they have the shimmery one that they came out with, they have this one is special, this one is great. I love the regular loose powder, but this one is also a special product that I haven't found anything that does this the way that it is. Like literally once that gets on the skin, it becomes completely invisible and blurring and gorgeous. Now, it does come in multiple shades because even though it is translucent on me and invisible and so lightweight, I still don't think it's gonna be the most ideal shade to put that on deep skin. So there are multiple shades in it. They're not like so confident that it's translucent. They're like, and it's universal. There's no such thing as universal. So this is translucent on me. I highly recommend, you know, I highly recommend if you're looking for something that truly doesn't show up on your skin, obviously go for the thing that is closest to your skin tone. It's still makeup, but this is the most translucent, invisible thing I've ever found. Best loose setting powder, hands down, goes to RMS. Like I said, RMS 2.0, their complexion products have knocked my socks off one right after the other, and that setting powder is so pretty, especially because their unpowder from back in the day was basically cornstarch, okay? It was like the Makeup Forever HD powder got worse somehow. Like it was so bad. And this is so excellent. It just disappears into the skin, which is what a loose powder is supposed to do. And there are so many of them out there that I really like, but like nothing has beat that one for me. It's just so good. We don't have to talk about this that long because I talk about this all the time, but you know, if this is the only video you've watched from me, you might not know. My number one cream contour that I will compare everything to is the Dior Contour, Dior Forever Skin Contour. I have the shade 01 Light. It is oddly cost effective for how much product you actually get in here because it's 10 grams. It's also a replaceable cartridge, which is nice. I have one of these here. I have one of these in the city. I don't live without this, especially because in this shade 01 Light, it also works really beautifully as like a bronzer in some contexts for me, and a little goes a long way. I've had this thing for so long, and like that is the amount of use that I've actually had out of it. It is massively, massively cost effective. It's a great, great product. Has a scent, just so you know. And if they don't have a color for you, this is not a best of the best, but like if they don't have a color for you, I recommend my like next best would be the House Labs. It's just a little bit drier, and so it doesn't go on quite as smoothly as this does, and it's not as cost effective. But they also don't have as many shades in the Dior as they do in the House Labs. So those are both benchmarks, but at the same time, like this is the one that I will always reach for. Contour palette is probably a very small category if I think about it, but it is worth mentioning, especially because, you know, there might be other products coming out in this category, and I just want to go ahead and lay down what I think that we should be measuring by, and that is this Mary Phillips palette. This is the one that just kind of makes me feel the best. As I'm putting it on, I'm like, I never feel like I am reaching for something that's not there. And it's quick. I love quick. And I also like that it's not really dewy. The Makeup Forever one is a little more dewy. And while I love that one, this one came out after that and it kind of knocked it out of its place, I'm gonna be honest. So the only thing here is I just saw Gloria review the deepest one. So bear in mind, until she does any kind of shade extension on this product, if you have quite deep skin, I don't recommend this, and I would highly recommend going and watching Gloria's video on it to see where your skin tone kind of like sits against hers, because I don't want anybody kind of wasting their money on this. This isn't a fully quote unquote fleshed out shade range. And also, I mean, this being the lightest one, I still don't think that that's necessarily light enough for a lot of people. So either way, with caveats, this is what I, you know, formula wise and everything, stack something like this up against. And my powder contour of choice, y'all, I mean, good grief. I don't think that powder contour is something that's that useful in my routine, other than the fact that I like for, if I want to really enhance a contour, I want it to be matte, and a cream just isn't going to be matte by the time you get your makeup on and everything. So if I want to go in and like reinforce my contour at the end, I've been using the same little mini contour duo here, and I've like never touched the highlighter, from Charlotte Tilbury forever. And I've tried so many. Like I love the lighter color in the Victoria Beckham matte bronzing brick, but like her contour in there does not work as a contour on me. It is a weird color. I would love to make it work. I've tried many, many times. This one is like just the right amount of neutral. I mean, it's got kind of a rosiness to it that works really beautifully on every makeup look for me. I have another criticism here, and that is that I think this still only comes in 2 colorways, and they don't make the deeper colorway in a mini, which is so stupid, because it's like I use this like all the time, and even in however many years I've had this one, this is the most pan that I've gotten out of it. You don't need a full size of this. You don't. So the fact that they make deeper skin tones by the full size is not cool. Cream bronzer. This is a tough category because there's so many different kinds of formulas in a cream bronzer, but I have to say that the one that I'm always going to stack it up against in terms of usefulness and versatility and the fact that I reach for it all the time, it's innovative, is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer. It has the most gorgeous gel finish to it. It goes so beautifully on top of all kinds of faces of makeup. It is a formula that does not translate into other colors. Like, I don't think that the blushes really make any sense. I wish he would do a highlighter in it. That would be amazing, Mario, because Sarah Creel did one, and I think it's a pretty good start, you know, but I think Mario could do even better on it. We need a little bit less shimmer. Like, that finish is enough, but regardless, that's the cream bronzer that I buy and buy and buy. I think I have bought 6 of them. Like, I just keep using them up and buying them. So that is absolutely the benchmark. I have so many powder bronzers, but the one that I compare everything to in terms of like, is it gonna knock out my favorite one? This is my favorite one. This is the Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in the shade 90. First of all, y'all know I have a kink for a gigantic pan of bronzer. There's just something really luxurious and abundant about that. For the like little bit of like gold shimmer that's in there, you don't see it on the skin. Trust me, I would be annoyed by that for whatever reason. I never see it. And what I love about this is that it has this like really healthy richness to it that doesn't go orange. This is something that like olive undertones can wear because like look how lovely and kind of neutral bronze that is. Oh, it's just so nice because that means that you can just pound it on and it's never going to make you look like, I don't know, you know, like we used to when we shopped for bronzer at the drugstore and there was like only one shade and it was always orange. It's like anybody my age and older is like scarred from that, probably even a few years younger too. That and like self-tanners were just like, yeah, we're tan. Like a tan was one color. This is extremely nuanced. I just feel like it's like the sweet spot. There are lots of really great ones, but this is the sweet spot. All the other ones I would have to be like, well, this is the best like rosy bronzer, or this is the best blushy bronzer, or this is the best blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But this is the best all-in-one powder bronzer as far as I'm concerned. Best liquid bronzer. And honestly, best liquid contour also, I'm going to go ahead and just say, is the Rare Beauty. I feel like they took that blush formula that everyone likes, but that's a little bit scary because it's so highly pigmented, and they pulled back on the pigment. They made an incredibly nuanced shade range, and the formula is just so much easier to work with. It's so pretty on the skin. I think that the colors are really well informed. I think that the cool tones that work really well as contours on me work beautifully as bronzers on other people. Regardless, that's what I'm going to compare things against. A lot of brands put out liquid bronzers over the last couple of years, bronzing drops, liquid contours, things like that, and I think I have tried just about all of them. And it is the Rare Beauty that continues to impress me, both in just how beautifully it applies and wears and the shade range, and also I just think that the price point is pretty good. If you're new here, I like a highlight to not really read as, like, if you got really close to me, I don't really want it to read as like a separate cosmetic product. Like, I want it to be so subtle that you're just like, her skin is just naturally glowing from within like that. I just have this thing where it's like, if I put a product there that's too opaque, it's gonna take away from my blush, and honestly, how dare it? The blush is always the star, so I want it to complement my blush, not cover it up. Okay, so cream highlight. Yes, it is the Chanel Baume Essentiel, and this is the clear one. I just went ahead and got the clear because I love what it does on the skin. This will also like refresh your makeup underneath your eyes and stuff if you've just been kind of like worn and weathered throughout the day and you've got that like, you know, crunchy powder situation going on. Tap, 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 tap. And for some reason, this doesn't like break your makeup up the way that a bunch of other like balmy highlighter sticks do. The West Manatelli, the original lit up stick, will really, really break your makeup up, or if you try to put it on with a sponge, it'll just pick your makeup back up. We used this on Natalie at her wedding, okay? We put this on top of wedding makeup. That's how much I believe in this formula. I'm just like, do not disturb. This will not disturb my makeup. So this is so, so gorgeous. I have it in Mermaid Glow and Dragé, but I have to say, like, the clear is my favorite. Powder highlight is no contest. This formula is unmatched. These are the Hindash gradient highlighters. Good grief. They look like they're going to be really, really shimmery and over the top on the skin, but they're wet look. And the way that these act on the skin is to truly just enhance the way that the light hits the skin. They're so stupid. He really did something here. And I've been testing so many other things lately that, again, these things get eclipsed, but it's like, I shouldn't ever shut up about these. They're so beautiful and you can still get these. They're only $40 and they're on Beautylish. As far as liquid highlight is concerned, I will say liquid highlighters are not my go-to usually. And so the category is fairly small and there are only a couple that really rise to the top. The main one being, and you're gonna see this again later, the MAC Strobe. I love these little guys. This was a case of me going into Ulta and just swatching all of them and filling my cart. I think I bought 4 or 5 of them that day. I just couldn't help myself. So the MAC Strobe blushes, as they get into the lighter shades, then become highlighters. And the thing that I love about these is that, again, they go on really really seamlessly and don't disturb the makeup underneath. They're very, very subtle and just make the skin look absolutely gorgeous. And they keep that glycerin finish, but they dry down. This happens to be the shade Starlight, but they do, I think, have an even lighter shade than this. Absolutely beautiful. Incredibly easy formula to work with, very, very thin and lightweight, but also, again, it has like, that's dried down. And actually, let's go ahead and just hop straight into liquid blush because we have the Strobe liquid blush here in Apricot Jelly. Again, I got a bunch of shades in this, and I think that all of the shades kind of deserve their own like attention because they've all been done so beautifully. They have really, really nuanced colors. But again, it's like, this is a kind of blush formula that I really like in general, just because, again, it like brings the skin finish back to the skin. And so it's like, you know, I like the Glow Recipe ones. There are a handful more, but that right there is the easiest to work with. And it's the most rewarding when you put it on the skin. Again, look at that finish. It is not shimmery. The finish of it is actually reflective and the colors are exquisite. Someone said that, you know, because we were talking about revisiting some makeup brands, one of the biggest requests that I've gotten is to kind of go back through MAC and see if some of the old ones still go hard, but the new stuff that they've been coming out with has been really, really great. Y'all, it is so hard to decide on a cream blush. Like, I am not sure that I have like a benchmark cream blush to compare against because there are so many different ones. So like if I'm talking about one that has a like hybrid natural finish, it's going to be the Westman Atelier stick. And I think that the colors are the best in that. If it's something that has some shimmer to it, I would say the LYS sticks. They are also some of the most like pre-mixed gorgeous colors, and I would not fear the metallicness of that formula. It's utterly gorgeous. The shade Focused is like my absolute favorite. And if we're talking about something balmy dewy, the Merit blushes are so rewarding. Again, they bring back that skin texture. They're really easy to wear because they're so sheer. I love them. I love the Rhode ones. Like a cream blush, it's just so vast and there's so many different kinds of formulas. I truly don't have a benchmark for that category. I hope that's okay. Now I do have a benchmark for the category of hybrid finish blushes. There are a lot of these out there, but this one is just the absolute runaway favorite, and that is the Sochi Blurring Pillow Blush. If you haven't touched this, you must touch this. It is, it is look at how blurring that is when I get it on my fingertip. My identity is gone. Yeah, I wouldn't pass a fingerprint test. It literally took the grooves out of my fingertip. And y'all know I shoot in 4K. There's no beauty filters on this channel, okay? Like, that is bananas. It's like a primer, you know? Like, that's how beautifully blurring it is. It's wildly lightweight. You hardly need any, like, especially this is Copper Spice, you don't need very much of it because it's quite intensely pigmented. And just look at how that feathers on the edges. It's gonna go on seamlessly. You can apply it with a piece of American cheese. It's just a really, really special, impressive formula, and it wears all day. And you can buy just the pans. I know that some of y'all really love that. And if y'all are like, I bet she probably doesn't have one for powder blush either because it's such like a large category. Nay. I have two. I have one for shimmer and I have, well, blurring, and I have one for matte, okay? For a shimmer blush that isn't even really shimmery, it just has blur on the skin. It's always going to be, or, you know, until someone unseats it. It is the RMS Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. These are just ridiculous. Like, the fact that something that looks that reflective is so kind to like most skin, it's an incredible formula. I cannot explain it. Now, if you don't like, obviously, a blush that has some shimmer to it, then don't do it. But like, it has a really flattering amount of blur. And I think that that is like what that shimmer in the pan, like how that looks, what it actually translates to on the skin. Now, powder blush, listen, nothing has unseated this, okay? No other like luxury or anything like that. This was my favorite from the moment that it came out. It never had to grow on me. My mind was blown the second that I tried it. I couldn't stop putting it on. And it's still the one, okay? It is still the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Blush. I have it here in Flirtatious. This is an incredible color. Now, it is still, I know it looks like it's, oh, that's so like mauvey nude, khaki. Wow, that would probably look incredible on me. No, not everyone, okay? Still, people who have very, very pale olive undertones, this will go peach on you. It's bananas. I don't make the rules. I have seen it happen, okay? It is not the most desaturated, cool toned thing in the world. Whatever color you decide works for you, this formula is the most kind formula to your skin. Like, it's just the most blurring, most beautiful, slow building, just pound it on. You can just absolutely check out putting this on and just keep going and going. I bought 3 of them when I first got it, and I would just one right after the other, just keep putting them on, putting them on, putting them on. Like, I could not make an excuse to stop. They're really, really special. This is my second one of these that I have bought of this color. I was like sitting there racking my brain the other day, and I was just like, God, I just want something that I know works. And I was like, oh, those are still the best. They're still the best. I don't have an eyeshadow palette favorite, okay? Like, I don't have something that I'm like stacking everything up against. I can't stop reaching for the new Byredo palette. Okay, that's what's on my eyes right now with a little bit of Danessa Myricks on top, but like, that one's my favorite currently. I think that formula is so incredibly impressive that like, maybe it's going to become the thing that I measure things against in the future. But an eyeshadow palette, they all have such different identities and different things that they're going after that like, it's really hard to say like, oh, an eyeshadow palette is in and of itself a category. Like, I don't think that that's really true. So anyway, matte cream eyeshadow. There are a lot of them out there and most of them suck. So the best one is the Merit Solo Shadows. Oh my god. And they came out with shimmers and I'm so excited to try them, but my hopes are, they're even. You know what I mean? I'm like, I will always love the matte ones, even if the shimmer ones aren't that good or if they're not that shimmery or what have you. I'm very excited, but at the same time, it's like a lot of times a perfect formula like that does not translate to another texture and vice versa, okay? So like, we'll talk about that. So that is an exquisite formula. It is very much like an eyeshadow stick that's been melted down into a pot, and it applies featherweight on the eyes with a synthetic brush. It's incredible stuff. It's so, so beautiful. Eyeshadow sticks, again, this is a category where it's like, most of them are kind of the same. Most of them are kind of the same, but my go-tos matte shadow sticks are Bobbi Brown, Laura Mercier, Victoria Beckham. Those are the 3 that I think are just like epic, reliable. With the exception of Victoria Beckham, the other ones have like wackadoodle huge shade ranges. There's so much to choose from, and it's just a really great long-wearing formula. Liquid matte eyeshadow. This is tough because I'm between 2. And it's like, one of them isn't really an eyeshadow, so I'm going to say both of them, okay? The one that is actually sold as an eyeshadow and is more readily available, yes, okay, is the Makeup by Mario one, the new Makeup by Mario one. It is, from what I hear from y'all, the longest wearing, okay? And that is why most people who wear a liquid eyeshadow wear a liquid eyeshadow. It might not be the easiest thing to apply, but it's worth it because they need their eyeshadow to stay. And their eyelids are the kinds of eyelids that things don't stay on for one reason or another. And so I've heard that that is some of the most bulletproof for y'all, and I have found it to be very quick and easy to use and a great shade range. If I had my druthers, okay, and I could make them appear out of thin air, if I could have a full shade range of them, including a shimmer, several shimmers, it would be the Hindash Color Fluids. They are an inexplicable formula. They're like nothing else, okay? A dot of it will spread so beautifully and seamlessly and never like stick or anything like that. You can mix it with a moisturizer and make like a cream blush with it. It is so beautiful. It's so buildable. You can use it as like truly the thinnest wash or build it to total saturation, and it will never kind of get flaky and crackly and look all like, you know, broken up and stuff. Like, it never dries up like that. It stays flexible on the skin, and it is bulletproof. It's like waterproof, wear-proof, life-proof, everything proof. It's amazing stuff. And I mean, if I could also put in a request, I know I'm one of a zillion, I'm a drop in the ocean at this point, but Boy Tears, the shimmer, is like, I used it up and then I shed my own tears about it because nothing is like it. Like, mine is completely empty. When are we getting Boy Tears back? Liquid shimmer eyeshadow that you can actually get, okay, because, you know, Boy Tears isn't around right now, is the Liquid Lurex from Lisa Eldridge. Oh my god, It's so beautiful, and again, incredibly long wearing. A very, very, let me grab one, hang on. Here's one. This is in the shade Lauren. So what you encounter so much of the time with a liquid shimmer eyeshadow is A, it'll get all crinkly. B, once you shear it out, it loses all of its shimmer. And C, for inexplicable reasons, a bunch of companies have been releasing liquid eyeshadow formulas that remove with just regular old water. You don't have to use soap, you don't have to use an oil cleanser or anything like that. You can let them dry all the way down, lick your finger, and wipe them off. I don't want that in a liquid eyeshadow. I don't want that in anything on my makeup, to be real, but this wears, okay? I really believe in this formula. I think it's so, so beautiful, and it comes in a bunch of really fun shades. It does not have the perfect bedroom eyes brown yet, but I don't know. Lisa, should we work on a bedroom eyes brown together? Why am I trying to remove that with my own spit? That's not going to work. Anyway, so next is Shimmer Cream eyeshadow, and I think that, like, if you know, you know. Phytosurgence is always going to be the one. This is just so, so, so freaking gorgeous. And I mean, look at that. That's the shade Ancient Acres. And while I do wish that Jason would put out something that shifts a little warmer, a lot of them still go a little, like the shift on them is a little bit still to either like rosy or silver for me. It is the long wearingest. It is so freaking pretty, and it's really, really, really thin on the skin. Again, it never does the crusty, crinkly thing. So this is another one where I just hear from people, it's like, yes, it's going to maintain shimmer, and it's also going to actually wear even on people who have ultra resistant eyelids. One of the toughest categories, and it's again something where I'm like grateful I've had the ability to try as many things as I have, because if I had tried 90% only of the things that I have tried in terms of shimmer eyeshadow sticks, I would still be trying to convince you that it couldn't be done. There are so many formulas out there that say that they are a shimmer eyeshadow stick, and the shimmer dies the moment that you blend it out on your eyes. Not this. So this is the Ilia Eye Stylist Shadow Stick. I think these come in shimmer and matte. I haven't tried the mattes, but I think the shimmers came out first, and that's why. This is the shade Opulent. This is like my inner corner shade of choice. It's just, it's got this beautiful Bambi creamy kind of champagne color to it that's like a little bit pink and a little bit silver, but not too icy. So beautiful. I mean, the color is kind of not that important, even though I really do like this color. But like, the thing here is that this is a shimmer formula that even if I wash this after it dries down under hot water with soap, the shimmer stays, okay? Everything about it stays. And you don't necessarily expect that from a clean beauty company. I mean, I swatched these on the back of my hand, and I sent my friend H. Allen a video of me literally trying to scrub them off the back of my hand, and they wouldn't come off, and I was like, that is a winner. Quickly, we'll talk about my high texture favorites. So high texture, like cream, is gonna be Half Magic. I love the glitter puck. I think it's an incredible product. I hope they come out with a zillion shades in it. I think of all the things that they make, that one is my absolute favorite. The high texture powder of choice for me, while it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I think that, like, I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to decide on a favorite. It's gonna be the Hourglass Scattered Light. It's a classic, and it's what we constantly are comparing things to. I haven't done a this or that video in so long because they all ended up being people wanting me to compare everything to the Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadows. That was all they were. And people started complaining. They're just like, yeah, you're just doing the same thing in every video. And I'm like, I know, because that's all anybody asks about. Is like, how does this compare to the Hourglass Scattered Light? That's all people wanted to know. And so that's why I haven't done one in a while. They are the benchmark, not just for me, but seemingly for everyone. And the high texture stick is the Color Fix sticks from Danessa Myricks. This is what I used today. This is in the shade Lunar Veil on my eyes right now. You hardly need any of this, and they are like cooling on the skin. I just think that they are really, really lovely. They're long wearing. They're very satisfying to use. I think the colors are really beautiful. And while this really bugs a lot of people, the magnetic little connectors for them, I don't know. I like it. I found it to be thrilling. I'll be honest, the waterproof eyeliner category has been a little bit fraught lately because I started to notice that even though this is my absolute, like this is what I compare everything to, this is the Victoria Beckham eye kajal, it does, when you put it down in a swatch on the back of your hand, it does dry down, like you can smudge it and all that stuff, but then it eventually like dries down completely. I find that on top of all the other makeup I put it on, I can still kind of adjust it later after the fact and it will still come off. So like while I use this the most out of anything, I will say that I don't necessarily recommend it as the most bulletproof thing in the world. I just like that it doesn't smudge or run. And so it still is the one that I compare everything to, especially because it's so easy to use. I love the gel texture. That's kind of a requirement for me, is that gel texture. But I think that the long wearingest one that I have found lately, and the one that I'll probably be comparing to going forward, it would be either the Persona or this one. This is the Hung Van Go. This is the Soften the Edge Long Wear Eyeliner. This is the one that actually like cranks up. The other one sharpens. I think that this category is just kind of a little loosey-goosey because I mean, it's just a line on your face at the end of the day. I am not a liquid eyeliner person, so I don't have like the biggest demands at the end of the day of a waterproof eyeliner. I just kind of wanted to stay put, but I have found that this one has been the easiest to work with in terms of gliding, and also the fact that it comes in so many browns. But I also think that the Persona one is really good. You just have to make sure you keep it sharpened because I have found that they will dry out. Sorry, I don't like to have a bunch in a category like that, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, it's not something I'm like particularly passionate about. Mascara. I so gleefully opened this today. This is my beloved. It's the first thing I ever reviewed on my channel. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. I am a tubing mascara girly for life. I cannot wear a different kind of mascara because it'll just give me styes and eye infections and all that. I love a tubing mascara and I have tried most of them. I'm very specific. I want a tubing mascara that is brown and it has to be a very specific brown. And so I do, whenever a new brown tubing mascara comes out, like Espresso from Hourglass, I bought 2 of these because I remembered really liking this formula and I still like the Thrive better. So again, we're talking about comparison, right? That's the whole point. This is still my benchmark. It builds fast. That's what I like about it, and it wears a long time on me. Tubing mascaras aren't for everyone. For people who have like really oily or sweaty eyes, it will just kind of come off. I also don't have any trouble holding curl. I'm not someone who needs something that dries really fast. They don't dry very quickly. This is my favorite. This is what I compare everything to, and I don't review regular wash off mascaras because sometimes even one time wearing them, I will get an eye infection, and so that's why you don't ever see them on my channel. That's why this is my benchmark. So I have 3 categories for lip liners. I have sheer, which really only has a couple that we've seen lately in it, and it's not a for everyone kind of formula, but I personally happen to love the ones that came out from Merit. That is the Merit in Tabak. Oh my God, let's put that on. I already have my khaki lip liner on, but who cares? I just love it. So it's that soft, sheer gel line that I feel like if I put it on with the lightest face of makeup, it still makes my lips look really like voluptuous and sexy. You know, it's just like a really nice addition to whatever I have on. And I mean, I don't want to exaggerate here, but it kind of doesn't seem to matter what color I put on. They all work really beautifully because they're all really sheer. You just kind of blend them in. Kind of can't go wrong. Creamy lip liner is the Thrive, and that's why, you know, I wanted to have this shade made for me with them, and they granted my wish. This is just such a gorgeous formula, and it's one that's like, I like a creamy matte long wearing lip liner because you can wear this as an all over your lips lip color that looks like a really nice hydrating, you know, matte lipstick. So it's also happens to be like my favorite color, but comes in a zillion colors. And then long wearing, you want a long wearing lip liner, you want one that goes on like the Satin Kajal from Victoria Beckham and wears all day long. It is the new one from Ravi. This is in the shade Almond. It is so unbelievably gorgeous and like it goes on so smoothly. She did something really unique here. I think that these are really special. So gorgeous. She came out with a handful of shades, but I think Almond is just like the one for me. And again, I've just never met a lip liner that goes on this smoothly and wears this long. It's like the Hourglass ones wear a long time, but they're like, you know what I mean? Trying to get them on your lips. And then there's like these really beautiful sheer ones, but it's like they're gone in 2 seconds kind of thing. This is kind of a revelation, a revelation That was a stretch. Okay, let's do a speed run of the lipsticks and the lip balms here because there are a zillion, because there's so many different lip formula types. So liquid lip balm, that means something that is not sticky, but it kind of looks like a gloss. I'm gonna say the Beauty Pie one. I think that it is across the board the most comfortable, obviously the most affordable. I mean, probably. I like wear it as an overnight actual like lip treatment. It's actually nourishing on me. And I think that this formula has kind of fallen out of style lately. And so they're just fewer and farther between, but the one from Beauty Pie remains a reliable formula where you know what you're going to get is that true bouncy, non-sticky liquid lip balm formula. Clear lip gloss, boy, this is a huge category, but I have to go with Edam, okay? Edam makes the most nourishing, I mean, one of the most nourishing lip glossy balm kind of formulas I've ever used. It's thick, it's heavy, it's syrupy, and it's also really like nourishing and long wearing. I think that's the benefit of a syrupy lip gloss is how long it tends to wear. And it happens to be vegan. It's not something that I necessarily care about, but it's something that I'm very like impressed by, and they just keep coming out with more of them. And the packaging is gorgeous. Little metal tip is so pretty. And all of these shades are really, really pretty, but it wins for me for clear because it's just the one that I like reach for the most. Pigmented lip gloss has to go to my girl Victoria. Victoria Beckham not only makes the most unoffensive lip gloss formula, so it's no scent, you know, no sensation, no anything. It's just a beautiful, long-wearing, very comfortable, high quality formula, all in this really beautiful package. But the reason that like it wins for pigmented lip glosses is because these colors are unmatched to me. The way that like I get the bikini, because it's this like nudie pink on me, there's a shade like this for every skin depth in the collection. You know what I mean? They've made these kind of milky nudes that work on different skin undertones and different skin depths. So it's like I can sit here and talk about this and you can find one that goes with your skin too, and then they have a bunch of other ones as well. So bikini is my color of choice, but I own more than one of these. I just love that even though I recommend, you know, this color, I know plenty of people who don't have my skin tone who have found the equivalent of their color in this same effect in her line. Y'all know I love that. Plumping lip gloss has to be the Dior Lip Maximizer, the original one, you know, the little tube that is like 40 something dollars, and maybe it's $40 and comes in a gajillion shades, and I somehow always make an excuse to buy another one while I'm at Sephora. I adore them. They are actually plumping. They're lightweight. They are not an offensive, irritating sensation for me, and I just find that they look beautiful. You know, they look really, really beautiful on the lips. So that is why I own a lot of them. Tinted balm has to go to the Lisa Eldridge tinted balms. Some people have said that theirs smell funny. Mine do not smell funny. I also really like the colors of this. I think it's just a really effective execution. While everyone was making a product like this, it does the best job in my opinion. Cream lipstick. So I broke these up into a few things, but cream lipstick, I'm wearing it right now. The Rouge Experience from Lisa Eldridge. I'm wearing Toasted right now. It's outrageously gorgeous. It's just a really easy blurring formula to wear. And of course, you know, the Forever component is not to be sneezed at. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there are a ton of shades in this. Matte lip. The thing that things have to beat at this point is the Burberry Kisses lipstick. Wow. It hits all the marks, okay? It doesn't have a fragrance, it doesn't have a sensation. The formula is extremely comfortable to wear. The packaging, which y'all know I love, is really, really beautiful. And the colors are awesome. Like, they're awesome. They're so nuanced. There's so much grunge in some of them, and I really feel like there's kind of grunge for everyone's like contrast level in their skin. There are so many options. That's one of the advantages of, or should be the advantages of, these fashion houses that have so much money to spend. It's like, make the shade ranges. We want options, you know, and they gave us options for a luxury fashion house to make a luxury, gorgeous matte lipstick that wears really, really comfortably, and it doesn't have a scent, because literally that's what's sitting under your nose. Don't put something really stinky in a lip product. It's gonna sit right underneath my nose. It's a virtually perfect lipstick. Now I kind of made up a category for this because it's not necessarily what I would call a cream lipstick. It's more of like a natural finish lipstick. It is something that I continue to compare things to, and I would consider there to be a category for this. It's just a little harder to nail down, you know? I would say that like the Merit Signature Lip Original kind of falls into this category, but you know, my winner, my thing that I always compare everything to is the NARS Explicit formula. I just think it's really special, and again, the colors. I love that if I recommend this to people, it doesn't have something for everybody, I know. It doesn't really go cool and grungy enough. We're not talking about like MAC nudes here, which I do think are really special. I do. If we're talking about things that are in that grungy of colors, we're going to start comparing to MAC, okay? Because I really think what they did is exquisite. But as far as comfort in a formula, as far as something that is just like a crowd pleaser, it's just so nice and easy and long wearing and also doesn't have a fragrance. I love that NARS almost never puts a fragrance in anything. They put a coconut fragrance in their cream bronzer a few years back. I was like, why NARS? Like, I feel like Laguna is its own thing, but I love that most of the time their stuff doesn't have a fragrance in it. Clear lip balm goes to Sarah Creel. I keep digging them out. I keep digging them out of my purses and stuff like that because it's like, as it's getting colder, nothing else works, okay? Like, I have little things everywhere, but like, that is the one that truly nourishes my lips and is incredibly reliable. And it also looks gorgeous on the lips, but clear. I do not like the tinted ones. Like, they just lose all of that deliciousness for some reason because of either the glitter or the pigment. Lip salve, however you want to say it. The GlossierBalm.com continues to be the only thing that I will swear by. Even when they changed their formula briefly and, you know, made it vegan and it wasn't good, we all had to go towards Lano Lips. I was like, Lano Lips is fine. It's good. It is good. It's a little expensive. And when they brought Balm.com back, I was like, add to cart. You know what I mean? But yeah, it has beeswax and lanolin in it, and it actually like does the thing. I want to spread it all over my whole body come like February. And if we're talking about like a tinted tubey lip balm situation, it's got to be the Ole Henriksen. It is one of the most beautiful formulas. It's so gorgeous. So again, this has been like a real like slapdash kind of set of categories, but it's like when you get something in your hand that wants to be that, you know, and then you compare it against that. And so it's like if something comes out that has that amount of pigment in it and wants to be a nourishing but also effortless kind of like, again, tubey squeezy lip balm thing, like the Ole Henriksen is always going to be the one that I'm going to compare it to because it's just exquisite. And the colors. There are just two favorites. If we're talking about a dewy setting mist, it's going to be MAC Fix Plus. Like, that's clearly, I just go through it. Like when Ulta has their sales, that's all I buy is I just like stock up on Fix Plus because to me, you are perfect. I think that this is a perfect product. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It is not a long wearing, okay? It calls itself Fix Plus, like, oh, it's gonna, you know, make it like long wear, it's going to fix it. But like, I don't really rely on it for that. I rely on it to melt my makeup together and make it look gorgeous. And it does that. Now, if you want something long wearing, the long wearing makeup setting mist that I would recommend always is the Veil Setting Mist from Hourglass. Now, my friend Rebecca is currently working on it. She's been sending me photos of it as she goes up side by side. She is putting in the work, but she's doing a setting mist wear test bracket gauntlet tournament, you know, like pairing them against each other and actually doing like a bracketed thing. It's very Taurus rising. She is going to be doing a post over there on her Substack, so that will be coming soon. I haven't tried every single one that she's tried because some of them are matte and I'm like not a matte setting mist girly, but that is why there are so many of us out here creating this kind of content, is because you might not be like me, you know? You might not like the things that I like. But if I had to recommend one for like your wedding day, you want your skin to look like skin, but you also want your makeup to stay and it's gonna be like hot and sweaty, the Veil Setting Mist from Hourglass is truly worth every penny because it turns your makeup into kind of this like flexible glycerin layer, the way that like the Hydro Grip from Milk wants to, like the actual primer wants to, but it turns like your makeup into this weird floating mass. This works the other way. So it has that same effect of making everything flexible. So like before I had Botox, right? I would like scowl. Typically all of that makeup would like stick in those 11s. And when you use the Veil Setting Mist, it just bounces back out of them. Okay? Because it like makes your makeup this like flexible unit in the best way possible. So yeah, like if you don't have Botox and you're like concerned about things gathering or what have you, that's your girl. And I am hoarse now, but I hope that this was everything you hoped for it to be and more. Let me know other kinds of videos that y'all want. I want to do some more kind of like useful epic roundup style stuff that I know y'all want from me that isn't like tedious product by product reviews. I've tried so much stuff. Let's talk about the best and worst of it, okay? Let's talk about the answers to the questions that y'all actually have. So I did go on my Instagram and I asked y'all for specific makeup questions, very much like the one that my friend asked me. What is the best like event makeup? You know, if I'm gonna be photographed at an event or whatever. And I was like, Prada, absolutely, off the dome. If you have questions like that, that's the reason I don't keep my DMs open, is because they were flooded with that kind of thing, with every single person asking for like 10 different personalized recommendations for what they should buy for makeup. I had no way of staying on top of something like that. And that was back in like 2019. When we talk about this kind of thing, I know there's a demand for it. So ask me in the comments and we will start doing videos where I answer your personal questions about makeup and give you personal recommendations about like what the best makeup for you know what I mean is. Let me know what y'all think. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Hype it. Hype it if you're on mobile. I do appreciate y'all saying that you're hyping it, so that's really nice of you. I do. I feel like such a ding dong asking for it, but please hype the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe while you're here. We would love to have you. I will put a video up here that I think that you will enjoy if you liked this one. Thank y'all so much for being here, for hanging with me today. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.